What's up, everybody? It's Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions and Studio One Tutorials.com, and today we're going to be looking at a Drug Dealers Anonymous type track. What's up, everybody? It's Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions and Studio One Tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials.com and get your premium membership and access to exclusive bonus member content. Also, be on the lookout for the silent shot that's coming out very soon. I got 25 presets in there for you guys, a couple 808s, a whole mess of ARPs. It is dope because it's programmed by the Zebra. Now let's get into this here. What I got is it's not a direct remake. What I did is I heard this Drug Dealers Anonymous track, and you know, obviously the first thing that drew me to it was like, oh, Pusha T and Jay-Z. You know, I haven't heard Jay-Z rap in a while. I'm old. I like Jay-Z. So, you know, I wanted to check it out. I played it and I'm like, yo, who made this beat? You know, this shit is dope. And it's a DJ Dahi beat, and there was a couple things in there that I noticed that he did, because the beat is pretty much a 2-bar loop, a sample playing over and over again, and the drum beat going over again. But there's something really cool that he did and he used that I had been using for a long time, and a lot of other producers have used too. But the way that he flipped it was really nice. So I'm gonna show it to y'all. This is what it sounds like. Now, the way that DJ Dahi was able to create interest in his in the beat, and have them transitions, and it was the stutter effect that is applied to you know, the entire mix bus, that kind of, you know, creates that. It almost sounds like, because of the content of the song, it almost sounds like he turns the beat literally into a money machine in the background. You know, that like they're sitting here, you know, telling these war stories of, you know, or whatever, and then you're talking about the money and the dope, and then you hear the stutter in the background, and it for what they did, it works really well. But to get a beat like this, the first thing that that was cool as shit about this was the way that the drums were layered. Obviously, these aren't the exact sounds, but you know, we're not remaking the beat exactly, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna remake the exact beat, upload it to your YouTube, get, you know, 50,000 views, and a whole bunch of rappers doing the Drug Dealer Anonymous freestyle over your remade beat of somebody who already did it. Like, no, just let's just figure out the vibe of the track. But you guys are pretty good about that anyway. I never have anybody really asking me to do a direct remake. This thing is an exercise in drum layering, and just picking and just really pushing your sound selection. You know, you're gonna make something like that. You're not gonna go with the regular basic 808 drum kit or anything like that. I went into when I get into this vibe, I like to go to Illmind stuff. I got Blap Kit 7. I'm actually, after I get done making this tutorial, I'm gonna pick up Blap Kits 8, which just released today. These drums are really good, awesome, just original drums. They're perfect for this type of thing. So here's the snare. just a regular snare, but you want a real snare with a little bit of reverb. I'm just using my plate reverb that I've set up in my, in my production template. If you don't know how to set up a production template and you want to see how I do mine, just go to studio1tutorials.com. On the front page, there's a slider underneath the intro. It's got 4 tutorials on it that breaks down my basic workflow for every beat. If this is your first time watching one of my tutorials, you should watch that and kind of get familiar with what we do. That way you don't get left behind. So the second thing that we did is we added the snare layer here. And this snare here, it has a lot more. What I was looking for was I wanted something that had a lot more energy in the upper mids and the highs to kind of so I could process that through a reverb and get a splash on on the first and third snare of each bar. And see what's that's doing. That's creating a nice push-pull rhythm just within the snare. So you're already with your snare pattern. You're already manufacturing a head nod because you're giving and you're taking away. That's what instinctively makes a person's head nod when you're doing music and when you're doing rhythm, is when you give and you take away. That's what makes you go up in expectation and down in relief, and up in expectation and down in relief. The head nod. So the next thing that we did was we added a tambourine on the second snare hit of the bar, just so that you don't get this empty feeling. Another sound. The reasoning behind it was find another sound that fills that high mid and high frequency spectrum that doesn't make the snare hit feel so empty. And layering a snare with a tambourine. I mean, that's classic hip hop. See, so just based off of your snare, because and the reason why this works in a track like this is because the only music that's playing above it is a sample, and then you've got that in their song they've got that detuned bass synth in the chorus sections, or where the hook would be if there was a hook in the song. But this is when if you've got a dope sample and you don't want to play a bunch of music over it, you don't want to put a bunch of parts, that's when you really got to dig into your drums, and you really want to be creative and really just do some really good layering that will give your track a lot more personality. So to keep up with that, what I did next was I hit Control B and I bounced these tambourines. I cut them. All right. And then what I did was, let's see, we zoomed in, press Control R to reverse it, and I just went here, and if you hold down Alt at the bottom of a region and drag to the right, that'll time stretch it. And I just wanted to time stretch it to kind of have a sucking motion into the next bar. And this is what you wind up getting. And again, I'm just using my drum reverb, my plate reverb on this. All of my drums I'm sending to one reverb send, so it sounds like they're in the same room, because we're building more of, even though it's a sampled kit, it's off the idea that it's a live kit. So you want to create that ambiance, and that's why I use the plate reverb in the way that I do. It's a reverb that has a healthy pre-delay on it. That way you can hear the drum hit come through before the reverb tail starts. So the next thing that we went ahead and added was our kick pattern. This kick pattern is the kick I use is it's the same kick I've been using for about a year now. It's called the Mafia Kick, and the reason why I like this kick is it works great with 808s, and if you saturate it with the decapitator, you can add a lot of decent highs to it, to where you can really make this kick sound however you want, and that's why I like it. And my suggestion to you is, no matter, you don't have to go out and get that drum library to get it. That's in the Trap Legends by Superstar O. You don't have to go out and buy that drum library, but just find yourself a kick that you feel comfortable manipulating to get a certain sound. So the kick pattern here, this is the 2-bar kick pattern. Now you'll notice, if you look at my MIDI close up, these drum hits are not perfectly quantized. What I did was, I have a I have recording I have a recording of the original song, and I chopped it and put it into the groove template creator, and used. Now I have if we go here, now I have a DJ Dahi groove. So instead of like using a 1/8, I can use this DJ Dahi groove on any song and quantize to this specific groove, which is really powerful, because this is either his his personal playing style, or this is the jitter from his sampler, or one of his groove templates, but now I have it, and that's one of the things that was so great about this song was groove. If you guys are interested in learning how to make groove templates, I have a couple tutorials now up on it on studio1tutorials.com in the premium advanced tutorials section. The next part of this, percussion wise, is just the hi-hat. The hi-hat pattern's really easy. This is the same hi-hat pattern from the original song. I thought it was really cool, the way that they skipped these first two notes. They just didn't have it, and then they let these run out for the duration of the bar, because when you hear it blend in with the kick, it's like you really get the impact of that first kick in that first 808, and then you come in with the hi-hat to kind of carry the rest of the rhythm. Now, because this is a sample track, you don't want to go with like the typical bright, noise-based 808 hi-hat. I went ahead and used this. This is a sampled hat. This is again out of that same Blap Kit 7. I'm telling you, if you're looking for good acoustic sample drums that are layered in a creative way that not everybody has, but are dope as shit. I mean, if you're not up on Illmind, Illmind is that dude, especially as a producer and a sound designer. Just Google him and like look at the stuff he's done with Kanye, or check out the Boom Trap EP. Like the dude is nice, bro. So the next thing is, I didn't have that sample. I was gonna try to find that sample, and a lot of times, I know not everybody's into digging. I know me personally, I prefer to make music than to sit at my computer and listen to someone else's music. Not everybody's like that though. So in order to get a vibe like that, that melody is just 4 notes. And I just used I used this output VST rev, for the kind of pluck sound. I use rev because all of their instruments have like a prolonged attack, obviously, because they are reversed samples. So I was looking for that type of vibe, and then I used Guitar Rig, because I like Guitar Rig's phasers. If you don't have Complete, I mean, you can go to nativeinstruments.com and download the Guitar Rig player, and you're not going to get all the modules, but I believe you will either get Phaser 9 or Stone Phaser, and it is worth the hard drive space just for these two phasers, because these two phasers are fucking awesome. They just add instant trippiness to anything that you put through them. Like, this is probably like my fifth most used creative plugin is Guitar Rig, just to hit these phasers up. Like, real talk, if like, seriously, like, Guitar Rig has got to be, if somebody asked me like the one plugin that a producer couldn't live without, it's Guitar Rig. Like, if you don't have this, you're playing with yourself for real. Then, of course, to get that sample feeling, you guys that have Machine, if you search your drive wherever you keep your machine files and you click vinyl, you're gonna get access to all of these different vinyl crackles. Or you could just search YouTube for vinyl crackle and rip it, or whatever. Just find a vinyl crackle, and then what you do is you just layer that underneath your track, and then you wind up with this nice sample sound. So the next part of the of the equation here is I used Isotope Stutter Edit. This is a really cool glitch program. I recommend it to everybody. I've been using this since, like, I think I got it in 2009 when it first came out. It was like 2009 or 2010. And it's just, when I first started using it, like, I was like, all right, nobody's using this like I'm using it. This is gonna be my signature style. And I was putting it all up in my trap breakdowns and having these crazy breakdowns. And back in 2009, 2010, like, that was really like Lex Luger's killing it with the horn beats and the orchestra trap, and everybody fucking with that, and really wasn't nobody, like, locally, when I was trying to get the beats off, everybody was like, ooh, it sounds like machinery. But I'm noticing now there's a lot more bus. I mean, it's not something that's new, but you will notice a lot more bus processing in hip hop songs. So what I'm getting at here is you guys want to look into getting some effects that you can put on your, I didn't mean to put this on my mix bus. Normally I put it on my filter. Again, if you guys are looking at my layout and you're wondering what I'm talking about, go to studio1tutorials.com. Check out my template tutorial that's on the front page. It's like 6 minutes long, and it shows you how to lay out all your buses, and and your time-based effects and stuff like that. Have your VSTs preloaded so you can save yourself about 15-20 minutes per beat, which is valuable time. Now, the way that these what you want to find is like MIDI based glitch effects and stutter effects, so that you can play your MIDI keyboard and affect the whole track. So, for example, every key on the keyboard in Stutter Edit represents a different chain of effects, and they're playable. So I could just loop this. Yeah, so I mean, and that's just Stutter Edit. You can for you guys that have Complete, they have a very similar instrument in Complete. It's called the finger. If you've had Complete this whole time and you've never messed around with the finger, I mean, I think that you should probably just go and give that Complete to somebody who's really going to use it. Like if you got Complete and all you're using is Massive and Contact, you're playing with yourself, like straight up. But yeah, the whole point of this is, when you're working with with a really cool sample that you just want to loop, and you don't want to get too crazy with it, because that's what's cool about this song. It's just two awesome rappers rapping over a loop. But because beats have became so advanced, we can't just loop two bars over and over again. So you need to be able to create interest somehow, and a great way to do that is through bus processing with MIDI based filter effects, stutter effects, and glitch effects. You want to look at stuff like the finger, you want to look at looperator, you want to look at effect tricks, you want to look at stutter edit, you want to look at glitch 1 and 2, you want to look at something like output movement. There's a lot of them. And FL Studio guys, gross beat, what I'm saying, you can run gross beat inside Studio One with JBridge. I don't recommend it because it's not stable, but I know people that do it. But that's, if you put those different stutters and drops into a beat like this, so long as you work and you get your groove really awesome, you know and you do a nice layer job on your snares, create, don't just pick one snare and go. Like, create a nice tight ambiance. Put the drums in a room. Do a good job, with your reverb design, and your bus processing, and really make a nice space and a nice ambiance, and you'll be able to create, a really great, intriguing, addictive 2-bar sample loop, that would be dope enough to put Jay-Z and Pusha T on. So, with that said, again, this is one of them amazing examples of keep it simple, don't be basic. This is Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions, Studio1Tutorials.com. Don't forget to sign up for Studio One Tutorials premium membership and get yourself access to free exclusive member content. I got drum kits up. I got silent presets coming. I got another drum kit coming. I got MIDI drums coming. I got melodies, chords coming.